Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Convery, where we caffeinate your curiosity with bold stories, actionable insights, and fresh takes on how we define and design success. Today's guest is an international business strategist, persuasion expert, and a brain science trailblazer. Please welcome Dr. Thomas Trautmann, founder of Happy Brains, certified business coach, and creator of the Make Me Great system. Thomas doesn't just help companies sell more. He helps leaders connect at the deepest, most decision-driven levels. Whether he's guiding executives with his ethical persuader system or helping couples through his NeuroCouple method, Thomas proves one thing. When you speak the brain's language, you unlock real, lasting impact. If you ever wondered how neuroscience can improve your relationships, your brand, and your bottom line, this episode is for you. Thomas, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks you for having me, Ryan. Super happy to be here.
Me too, me too. So why don't we jump into some rapid fire questions? What do you think is your superpower?
My smile and my wicked sense of humor.
I love that. That's awesome. Smile starts everything, right?
Absolutely.
Favorite subject in school?
Well, it depends at what age, I would say. Around 16 girls, definitely, but surprisingly, also computers.
Computers, all right. And we all start somewhere. What was your very first job?
My real first job was job as a teenager, as a student.
Okay, okay. And did you mow lawns or
It's
did you, yeah?
no, I was working in an ice cream factory. Could be
Ah,
worse.
really? And what did you do there?
The first year, because I was the noob, I was cleaning the tanks with the cream, with the chocolate gluing against the walls in those big tanks where they cook the cream to make the ice cream, carrying around all the boxes with ice cream, cleaning fruits and so on. And then the
Oh,
second year, I was in the fridge, so that was cool.
that's a cool experience making ice cream. I think you're the first making ice cream person. If you had to describe yourself in one word, what would you pick?
Happy.
Happy. Love that. Okay, so Thomas, you started as a neural network researcher and now help founders and executives build brands that resonate on a neurological level. What inspired you to bridge that academic world with business?
Oh, so it was a long path. I started as a computer engineer, did my PhD, as you said, in artificial neural networks, which, funny enough, is what runs now all the AI stuff. So 30 years later, at least it starts to be used. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would have always had a plan. I always wanted to be one day found a company and do that. So. Went through engineering, science, project management, moved to marketing, sales, founded my very first company with my wife. We founded a high-end motorcycle tour company in the south of Europe.
Wow.
Uh, yes, it was a nice adventure, I would say. And during that time, maybe we can talk about it later. Uh, One of the things that helped me was to learn about neuromarketing. Was the very first steps of neuromarketing, implementing neuroscience to marketing and sales. So we changed a bit of what we're doing based on what we heard, and we raised by 400% our sales. So that showed it was working. So kept on that path. Had to go get a job as a CMO. Asked for the very first neuromarketing agency to help us work, and that's why I got bitten by the bug, and asked them to join them as a certified to become a certified neuromarketing instructor and their business partner in Europe.
Wow.
So which I did for half a dozen years or so. But I noticed that in fact neuromarketing, and it's super powerful. Don't get me wrong, you get two-digit growth easily,
Mm.
but it's targeting the company's success. And when I was giving workshops, somehow something was missing. And the word that came out was humanity. Your
Mm.
marketing is an extremely powerful tool for the company, but people don't get something for themselves. So I said, okay, I'm stopping with that. And now I'm focusing on the people first, and then can implement it. That's how I created the Ethical Persuader System and the Ethical Persuasion Formula, where you first learn how to get more for yourself because you make other people great, you know,
Yep.
and then you can implement it in your private life, in your professional life, and which now is the Make Me Great system, which helps business owners to become unforgettable in 11 seconds.
Wow. That's incredible. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Really interesting how that all came together and how that all works. And I know I see the Make Me Great in the background too. And I know that's what your success comes from, helping clients become great. Any thoughts about how business owners can start to apply it even starting today, or how they make that come together?
Yeah, well, the bad news is there are two news, the good news and the bad news. The
Okay.
good news is it is working. I mean, when my clients implement it, when they grow themselves, I think in Spanish, sorry for the word, the cojones, uh,
Hmm.
it works. The bad news is you have to think differently from what you have been taught. Because I mean,
Unlearn.
and still 95%, 97% of people try to persuade rationally because it's everything is about persuasion, right? The
Yep.
human brain makes 35,000 decisions per day, and you expect some to be made as you want them from your spouse, from your kids, from your friends, from your employees, from your clients, from everyone. You drive decisions every time, all the time. So doing it rationally is wrong, in fact. It has been scientifically proven. The part of the brain making the decisions is called our primal brain. It's our survival tool, and it focuses on one and only one person itself. So if you want to have success as a business owner, to become unforgettable, you have to listen to that brain in front of you that shouts at you, make me great. Make me the hero of your story. Don't tell me about your product, your services, your brand, yourself. I I don't care about it. Yeah, I care
Yeah.
about myself. Talk
Yeah.
about me. But the problem is, when you are trying to persuade someone, you are self-persuading yourself that you're right. So you're talking about yourself, and that's where everything goes wrong. And then you have to deploy so much effort. You're losing so many resources, giving rebates, longer test periods, and following up, following up, following up. Well, you should follow up anyway, but in a different way, because you're
Yeah.
trying to do it rationally. And maybe that brain in front of you is going to make the decision to buy from you just to get rid of you.
Yeah.
So you are no more unforgettable. You are just get away.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Well, that's interesting because that's sort of how traditional sales and marketing works, but you're really talking about ethical
Yeah.
persuasion, right?
Yeah. It's ethical. I mean, it's a Spider-Man thing. With a great power comes a great responsibility. So, like every tool, there is a downside, there is an upside. I mean, there are people who call it influence. There's a guy, Robert Cialdini, who talks about the six rules of influence. If you use them wisely, as he explains, you do fantastic things. If you use them badly, you end up like many websites, only one left. The
Yeah.
classic only one left. Or that's the last time we have a seat in the plane at $50. And tomorrow it will be at $200. But you come 3 days later, it's at $40. So
Yeah.
all those are using influence techniques that are misused. So ethical persuasion forces you to help the brain in front of you to make the right decision. That's why it's ethical.
Absolutely. So one of your other core philosophies is that decisions aren't logical, they're biological, from what I read. For those who've never thought about decision making this way, how can you make and understand how the brain helps close more deals or strengthen a relationship through this sort of decision making?
Well, I can give you a very simple example to illustrate that so that people understand it. Is if you are selling drill machines, okay?
Yep.
Here comes a guy who wants to buy a drill machine. So don't buy a drill machine because you are fetishist. So we don't talk about people who are fetishists of drill machines. We are talking about normal people. So if I come and say I want a drill machine, you are going to push me toward the green one, which is the most expensive one, or the one you have the most margin. So you're going to tell me, yes, of course, Thomas, this is the green drill machine. It turns at 12,000 RPM. It comes with two spare batteries. It lasts 30 minutes on each battery, and you get 10 drills sold with you in the box. And I'm going to say, yeah, but the yellow one there seems great too, and it's less expensive, it's cheaper. So then rationally you are screwed. So I living with the yellow one because the yellow one is the cheapest one. So you have lost margin, you lost your time, and maybe you even had to add some gimmick in there to make me happy. So that's the classic way to sell, the rational way.
Right.
If I go on the primal way to sell, if I come to buy a drill machine, there is a reason behind it. It's I need to make a hole. Okay. But I just don't need to make a hole. I need to put something in that hole. And that thing is going to hold something. And why do I need to put something on the wall? So maybe you should tell me, Thomas, with that drill machine, the painting your wife wants to get on the wall for a few weeks now will be in the wall in 10 seconds. And then she will leave you alone. Yeah, give me the drill machine. Because you thought you understand what's driving my decision, which is called a subconscious frustration. And
Interesting.
whatever you are selling, it could be the most complex SaaS solution, or I don't know what, you are still selling to a human being, and that human being has human subconscious frustrations. For example, a business owner doesn't want to grow her business. A business owner subconsciously is going to make decisions, maybe to prove to her parents that she has it.
Yeah.
Huh? Or
Yeah.
maybe because I have a family, I have that deep need to protect my family. And by growing that business, I'm going to generate enough revenue for myself to protect my family. Has
Yeah.
nothing to do with growing the revenue by 10%.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Interesting. Those are the primal things that come out. You're right. I never really thought of it that way. What do you see though as like one common mistake leaders make when they try to persuade in this space?
No, that's what I said. They talk about themselves.
Talking about themselves
They
and
think that the
the
solution is their
product.
product.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, product or service. I just use product generically.
Yeah.
The product is just what happens once the whole thing has been done, once the decision has been made. It's, yeah,
It goes with
it's
like
after the whole thing.
it goes with the whole mindset of like human-centric design, right? Like making sure you're doing something for that person, right? Not necessarily
Yeah.
about you and the product. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Let's talk about the impact system. How does it combine brain science and business strategy to boost everything from, as you said, revenue to trust?
Yeah. So impact is the big model, the big system. It includes make me great and has also a block of NeuroCouple of male-female relationships. So impact includes everything. It's the biggest piece of the pie here.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, and it works also. It has also Make Me Great is really focused on the 5 steps of the Make Me Great system, which are first, who are you? Why are you doing what you're doing? Having a tribe, using ethical persuasion, and then communicating to the brain. That's the Make Me Great system. Impact goes deeper. It goes on how you drive your own decisions. How can you help yourself make the right decisions for yourself? And adds also a whole module about how male and female brain work together. Because I mean, 50% of the planet is made of male, 50% is made of females. So at one stage, you are going to have to communicate with someone from the other gender.
Yeah.
And I'm a very basic guy, so there are male and female brains, period. There
Yeah.
are no green penguin brains and unicorn brains and whatever, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, male, female brain, period.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And they think differently for sure. So that's also you developed the
They
neuro
work
cup.
differently.
Yeah.
They,
You
they are configured differently.
configured. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good point. You also developed the NeuroCouple system to help people understand gender dynamics and relationship psychology. What has this taught you about communication, and how does that translate back to leadership and team building?
I told me that we are fucked. No, it helped me to understand already my own couple. That's somehow why I studied it, because
Yeah,
as I was saying, my wife and myself, we are the perfect prototypes of what a man and a woman are together. And so even at work, I mean, there are a lot of things that have been said or that are going to be said about how men act or women act or the jobs one has, the job other has, and it's based on evolution. I'm sorry, your people accept that the female and male bodies are different.
Right.
Hey, I show you a female body, you know it's a woman. I show a male body, you know it's a man, right?
Yeah.
But if I pull two brains out of the bucket and put them side by side, you cannot say which one is male and female. But they didn't evolve the same way. We are not equals. We are complementary. That's how the human species evolved. No,
Very interesting
the
perspective. Yeah.
even our eyes don't work the same way. Our eyes are not configured. They are configured based on how we evolved, how we how male and female evolved to have humanity work. So,
Yeah. No,
I
it's
mean, language,
super
for example,
interesting.
you were talking about communication. Language is very important. Male handle language in the left side of the brain. So we use specific words. Women handle language in the whole brain. So not having a specific area for it, the language women are using is more generic than the male one. For example, I come home and say, oh, there is dog hair on the ground. My wife comes home in the same situation. It's disgusting.
Mm.
We are talking exactly about the same thing. Or, things that can start a fight. Darling, can you change the light bulb? Yes. Male brain thinking, she thinks I'm a fucking idiot because I cannot change a bloody light bulb. I know how to change a light bulb.
Right.
Well, in fact, the right question should have been, darling, can you change now the light bulb, please? Because it's dangerous. Of course, I will do it right now, love. But we don't use the words the same way.
Yeah. And words are so important. It can trigger different things that you said, but it's the
They
processing.
can trigger they trigger one of my favorite things, which is the fight flight reflex.
Okay. Yeah.
It was making a lot of sense during the cave age. By the way, the human brain stopped evolving between 50,000 100,000 years ago. So those processes are still running in our brain. Fight flight is you get attacked, you have either you fight back or you run away.
Yeah.
But when that happens, your brain shoots adrenaline so that everything goes faster. Your heart rate goes faster. Your breathing rate goes faster. You get a shoot of cortisol that runs in your body so that you don't feel pain the same way. You get less blood in your limbs so that in case you get hurt, you don't bleed out. All that is still running. And in a couple, for example, when she says to him, we need to talk, the fight flight process starts. And when he answers yes, but the fight flight process starts too. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
I mean, I love horses. You see a horse going in panic. 2 seconds later, the horse is quiet and it's grass. You
Yeah.
start your fight flight process. It will take you hours to get the adrenaline level down to normal and to stop rampaging in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those are some really practical things you can think about in your daily life so easily, and how understanding the brain and how it works and how it's programmed, it's fascinating. Right?
Oh,
Because
it
it
is.
just,
It is a fantastic tool.
yeah. How about coaching? Let's talk some coaching. You've trained business leaders across Europe, Canada, and beyond. As a multilingual, multicultural coach, what universal truths do you see about persuasion and success? And what do you think some of our younger audience and professionals listening to this today need to unlearn?
But the good news is that we all use the same part of the brain to make decisions wherever we are from. Now, the subconscious frustration can be influenced by the culture, the environment, knowledge, etc., etc. But we still make decisions based on who we are ourselves. So that's the good news. So once you understand how ethical persuasion works, uh, you can use it everywhere. You have to make sure that you understand what's going on around. It's like everything. You have to understand what's going on. So that's the good thing. What you need to unlearn is to be rational.
Be rational.
Understand that a big part of the primal brain is the limbic system, where our emotions are handled. And we cannot make a decision without emotions with an S, because it has been scientifically demonstrated. There has to be an emotional variation. I have
Mm,
to put you in one emotional state and then pull you in another emotional state to have the potential chance to get a decision from you.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end. I want to ask you a couple other questions here before we wrap. But if you could leave our listeners, and primarily there's students and early professionals and even seasoned founders on here that listen, but with one unforgettable insight today, what would that be?
Use the you language.
The you
When you
language.
connect with someone, not after 10, 20 times, but for the first time, don't talk about yourself. Talk about them. Make them great. You know,
Awesome.
as I say, by elevating your clients, you elevate yourself. So when you write an email, don't send it. Read it again. Check how many times there is you or I in there. If there are two I's, it's already too much. And you'll see, you can say exactly the same thing using the you language,
That's
but
right.
it's super difficult. When you
I
write, it's easy because you can stop. When you're on the phone, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, no, but that's a great takeaway. Now I'm thinking about an email I sent today that I think had three I's in it. So that's wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, you
no.
get those emails on LinkedIn. Hi, Thomas. I am this. We are doing that. We help this. We do this. I always answer it. I don't care.
Right.
You're not talking about myself, but I can help you understand how you are going to sell more by using what I teach you.
And how does the audience for the podcast here either get in touch with you or follow you? I know you have a newsletter. How do people find you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
There are a few Thomas Trautmann, but I'm the only Thomas Trautmann who is bold and who has a brain in the hand. So that's one thing. Or you find me on my website, which is happy-brains.com.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you. This brings us to the end of our podcast. You really helped us look at success through a powerful new lens, and I know our audience will start to think differently. I know I will about communicating, connecting, and converting. So, thank you so much, Thomas, for being a part of this today.
Yeah, welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me and for having me.
Awesome. So, to our listeners, if today's episode expanded your mind, send it to someone who needs it. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Instagram for more stories that stir both your head and your heart. This is Coffee with Convery, where we remind you that success doesn't come from climbing the corporate ladder. Sometimes it comes from building your own jungle gym. Thanks again.